Welcome back to another Llama 37 production, and today we're back on Plants vs. Zombies, and I think I'm going to commit to Plants vs. Zombies just like how I can't commit to my son, right? He's 8 years old, he hasn't made a single dollar since he's been out the womb. Darwinism, if he can't survive on his own, then maybe he doesn't need to be here, right? Only the fittest survive, and I seem to be making a whole lot more money than him. He's not doing anything, and he's black. That can't even be my son. I don't care how many times she says, oh, albino babies happen sometimes. I don't even think that can happen. That can't be my son. So I'm no longer committed to him. I'm going to leave, and I'm definitely not paying child support just like my dad. Even though my mom would take the child support money and go buy whatever she wanted instead of just getting me shoes for school. Instead, I had to go steal them. But, that's neither here nor there. Let's play the game, okay? And I have some great topics to talk about today. I legitimately do not understand why we would get rid of Social Security. What is the reason for that? Some people argue that it's like a big expense for the government or whatever. Where's that money gonna go otherwise? Like, I don't understand the point of us paying so many taxes, and then they want to strip, like, everything away from us. I think stripping some things away is good. How is that cutting waste? What are we even paying taxes for at this point? If they're just gonna take our retirement, right? We don't get pensions anymore. Where else is this money gonna go that would be better? What are they gonna invest it in? The military? Are they gonna invest it in the National Guard that Trump's currently using to take over cities, which he can't do because they have publicly elected mayors, right? I could understand if there was some big, like, plan or something. There's no plan. It's just like, all right, the money is just gotta go. Where is it going? Where else is this 20% of the income that they take from us, if not even more? There's currently a recall with Great Value branded. That's the Walmart brand for any Europeans. I hope we wouldn't be watching me because European me off. God, I hate Europeans. Here's the deets on it. They're recalling radioactive shrimp. How that happened, I don't know. You know, I don't know. I don't understand how there's radioactive. Like, what did they do? They go pick up the shrimp off the ocean floor where we're testing, like, nukes at? Like, how did we end up with radioactive shrimp? That sounds like a joke, right? They don't even sound real. If you're buying Great Value branded shrimp anyways, maybe you deserve it. Maybe the high life ain't for you, man. You don't need fancy food. Maybe you ought to just be eating cosmic brownies all day. If you're eating, like, the Great Value branded shrimp, maybe you deserve to turn into some radioactive freak. You know what I mean? Maybe you deserve to have your explode or something. And shrimp's pretty overrated. Seafood in general is pretty overrated. Let me have this thing that smells like a woman's underside in my mouth. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right? That's all my girlfriend smells like. She says it's just, it's anatomy. You know what I mean, dude? Like, it's nothing bad. It's nothing bad. Okay, showering is hard for some people, okay? And people don't understand that. So until you just don't get it, bro. You just don't get it. We just don't like showering. Okay, so they're radioactive. You put them in your mouth and they start dancing in your mouth or something. What happens? They lucky I didn't catch Lil Nas X in the middle of that road. That's a crazy look for somebody that's supposed to be like... They have like... Dude, he has like 10 million followers on Instagram. He can't be out naked in the streets of LA. They're like, once again, they're lucky I didn't catch him. I've been waiting to catch him, right? I've seen the football video and I've seen he's got the ability to do some stuff that I would like. Let's just say that, you know, I can't go into depth, but if I would have caught little Nas X, story would have been different. There wouldn't have been no video coming out, so I'll tell you that. There may have been some sort of documentary in about 30 years. Where did Lil Nas X go? If I would have caught Lil Nas X, and I can't really go, once again, I can't go too much into detail, because it's almost incriminating, right? It's almost like, if I can say this about some random person that I don't even know, who knows what I'm going to do to the people I know. For my safety, my legal safety, I shouldn't reveal what I would have done. There's no laws against Lil Nas X, Batman. Actually, Joker, I'm Batman, and there are laws against Lil Nas X because he's a human and he deserves human decency. God, bro, I'm shaking thinking about it. Literally, I am shaking thinking about it. I wish from the bottom of my heart, I wish I could have caught Lil Nas X, man. Don't let me catch Chris from Mr. Beast either. I know I've already went in on that in this series, but I just got to emphasize it. Shout out that dude on Instagram. There's a dude on Instagram, and he's like this little Asian dude, and he doesn't even get like a lot of attention. His account doesn't even do that well, but he is steady, bro. He is committed to his craft. So he posts videos of him sitting in a football field, and he goes, this is the football field where I let the whole, football team do whatever they wanted to me after a hard loss. And he just sits there and details how he absolutely got destroyed by some football players in Minecraft. That's his craft, bro. That's what he does. It's almost inspirational. Once again, reminds me of early days of the bird. At first, it wasn't doing the greatest. I was just posting for the love of the game. Now it's not really for the love of the game when it comes to short form, even though I think I'm about to open up a new thing. I want to start doing prank calls. Probably get the general manager on the phone for anybody that's unfamiliar with like low level, well, whatever jobs in general. General manager is like the top. They're like the store manager, I guess, is what it's called in other fields or whatever the frick. What am I saying, bro? God, dude, YouTube done put my naughty thing into some sort of cage, bro. Like, I'm really becoming submissive to YouTube. But anyways, yeah, I want to get the general manager on the phone, so it's someone that has to like sit there and pretend like they care. I'm gonna see if they'll let me sit in their parking lot and hunt birds. That's really what I want to prank call them about. And that's it. I want to see if they'll let me hunt and eat birds in their parking lot. I'm going to spit a prediction, okay? And I believe I'm very correct on this. I would say probably like 10 years ago, the world hit a peak of all time. Like 10 years ago was probably the best the world has ever been. I mean, at least in America. I mean, I know in like third world, I don't count third world countries. I just don't care. It's not my fault that you guys refuse to do anything other than eat poop. I'm not forcing you guys to eat poop. I'm not doing that. So I'm not going to take you into consideration if you want to sit there and eat poop all day. That has nothing to do with me. I'm not interested in your poop eating. But anyways, I'd say America probably like 10 years ago probably hit the peak that's ever going to hit. And that's probably the best we've ever had in the world. And I know people are going to sit here. Dude, I even say in videos, I say, oh, I could be wrong. Or like, so for example, in last video, I said something about slaves. And I said, oh, like China, they're not really slaves, but they essentially are. And somebody still found the need to correct me, bro. You guys are not scholars. I'm not a scholar. None of us are intelligent. My claim to fame is is me harassing a Fortnite bird. We are not intelligent. Quit correcting me. Anyways, the world hit a peak probably like 10 years ago, and I'm referring to the US, okay? And I know somebody's gonna be like, bro, it's so much better in China. They have communism. They don't have free elections. It's so much better. I think the world is, at this point, we've hit a peak, and now we're heading down. Right now, currently, I would say the U.S. is still very nice. As long as you look past the propaganda and the fear-mongering that is like, oh, dude, the economy's so bad. Everything's so bad. So let me give up. That's what it is, right? We have all these news outlets saying, oh, everything's more expensive than it's ever been. It's super hard to be American. No, it's not, bro. No, it's not. You just gotta like work. This is not coming from somebody that is spoiled. I am not at all. The last time I received an article of clothing from my mom, I was 13. That is the last time I've pretty much ever got anything from my mom. This is coming from someone who has had to work from the ground up. You just gotta work on something. Quit sitting there doing nothing because Twitter's telling you, oh, it's pointless. The world has changed. No, it hasn't. America is still a free land where you can be successful. I think it's only going to get worse from now, though. It's still at a point to where it's salvageable and you can still live a normal life as long as you're willing to work hard. Yeah, stuff costs more, but what are you going to do about it? You going to sit there and cry about it on Twitter all day, or are you going to go do something? And this in no way is justifying the actions of these terrible politicians that we have in office. Someone's going to say, oh, you're just Republican. No, that's not true at all. God, man, imagine sitting on one of these mushrooms, though. I need to get to my point here. The world is slowly going to get worse, and they are going to, and this is a big thing, like the Republican Party is super big on the church. The church has historically been a tool to completely control us, right? And it's not like a super negative tool. It's not like whips and chains. But what does the Bible preach? It preaches a good message. I won't lie. It preaches a very good message, one that probably needs to be heard by most people. But it also keeps us controlled, right? The Bible says, oh, Jesus throws whoever it is, God throws hardships at us, blah, blah, blah. And you shouldn't worry about how hard your life is on earth because you're going to heaven. That's control. That's literally written control. That's right in front of your face. They're telling you disregard the current political leaders that are taking advantage of you, and it'll be all right because you're just going to go to heaven at some point, as long as you live a righteous life. Is that not control? But once again, it does keep people like morally correct, which is a good thing, but at the same time, it's control. They want to keep you in check. Say I could get these people that I really do not like in a room. There's a couple people that have been in my life that if I could get them in a room and just have no consequences for whatever I do, that sounds like I'm going to do something. I'm not going to do nothing naughty to them. Let me clarify. Well, it'll be naughty, but in a different type of thing. It'll definitely get me put on the bad list. I'm not going to be playing with them. So what I think they're doing is, right, they know bad times are coming. They're making it a top heavy, which is what they've done in the past. They make it a top heavy world. They rule from the top, and people are too stupid and they're too caught up in this religious stuff to even notice anything going on. They're like, oh, this is just the way God intended it to be. He wants to give me a challenging life because he's going to give me a reward at the end. Nah, bro. The rich people are just you, man. Like, that's literally all it is. It is just straight railing all the time. We're looking at a big reset, I think. I think gradually people are going to get more and more stupid. We're going to rely on AI, and they're going to slowly start really pushing religious beliefs so we can be comforted through these hard times, and we won't question anything the government's doing because that's just God's plan. Back to feudalism, baby. Maybe not as extreme as it used to be, but they would love for feudalism to come back. If there actually is like a dramatic great reset, right, we're going to need somewhere to put all of these humanly remains. And I think in a river is one of the stupidest things we've ever come up with. Why are we putting bodies in rivers? When have you ever heard of somebody successfully putting a body in a river? It always gets found at some point, and maybe in some cases they want them to be found, but they want all like the DNA to be removed by the water and stuff. That makes sense. But if you're putting a body in a river to make it disappear, how does that make any sense? It always comes back up. It always gets found. I can understand the ocean. Rivers aren't even that deep. They're pretty shallow most of the time. I mean, they can hit like 10, 12 feet. But just let somebody lose like their sunglasses, and they're gonna hire someone to go dive for them. And boom, there's Uncle Larry. There's much better ways to get rid of bodies. I don't even know how. Let me clarify. I don't know how to chop up a body and make it disappear. I don't know how to do that. But yeah, I can't sit in here and advocate for good ways to dispose of bodies, but there sure as hell has got to be a better way than what we're currently doing. Because rivers just don't work. Did anybody watch the Pokemon Direct? They announced this cool looking Pokemon Direct with all this cool stuff in it. Like, it looked very cool. I'm going to be honest. It looked very cool. My girlfriend was excited to watch it because it looked like some sort of horror game. Comes on the screen, and that's what it looks like for about, a minute and a half. They're just like going through this weird abandoned house. At some point, here comes a big human reproductive fluid jar. Pretty much looking thing with purple reproductive fluid in it. Mega Victory Bell. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, I guess. And then the direct ends. They announced Mega Victory Bell with teasing a Pokemon horror game. That makes so much sense, Nintendo. Thank you. That makes a lot of sense, Nintendo. Thank you for being such a great company. That's crazy, dude. They spent like at least probably $25,000 getting that whole thing animated, if not more, just for them to announce Mega Victory Bell. Is that it? Very disappointing. Very disappointing. I feel like one thing that I've gotten away from in my content is a lot of just randomness. And I know a lot of the times people are like, what are you talking about? People get mad whenever you don't talk about whatever's popular at the time, but I don't really care. I'm interested in content that like I've never seen before most of the time. Obviously, I like reading trendy headlines and stuff. I feel like random stuff is cool too. So I think I'm gonna do at least one random thing an episode of whatever I do now. So I saw this funny headline. It says Denmark scraps book tax to fight reading crisis. I was like, all right, it's probably like a 3% book tax or something. It'll help a little bit. No, Denmark has a 25% book tax. So you go buy a $10 book, it becomes $12. And then sales tax on top of that, it's probably $13.50. I see why we're not reading books. All of a sudden, the Percy Jackson movie seems very interesting. It's 50% more, essentially. No wonder they have a reading crisis. It's either food tonight or one book. Why did they even have a book tax to begin with? You would want to encourage reading to begin with. That's how people learn, man. I just don't. That's got to be a weird law. And whenever that got introduced, the people that voted that in are just stupid. Dude, nobody's buying books anymore. And you slap a 25% tax on top of that? No, definitely nobody's buying books. It went from, probably not going to be any books sold to no books being sold. Me when my wife tries to poke her head out of the back of my 2006 Honda Civic. Trunk stays closed. I hear her back there just banging her head on top of the thing. I removed the safety thing in the thing. The trunk don't open from the inside. Okay, we're gonna go to Arkansas, and you're gonna see where your parents finally went. That inheritance was nice, but I figured out in divorce court that I actually wouldn't be getting 50% due to a prenup that I unfortunately signed. I didn't know that I signed that, so now I'm gonna have to ensure that I get the 50%. Well, I'm gonna have to ensure I get 100% now. I'm no longer concerned about the 50%. I want 100% of what my wife has. And I will take her to see her parents. She's been crying. She said she's been missing them. I've been comforting her. The whole time I know where they're at. Thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and comment. Hello Kitty